All right, darling. Welcome to day 61 of your juice fast. Day 61. It's getting real. I'm not gonna lie. I was in a fury of cleaning. I just felt like cleaning. I got my mop out here, got my vacuum. I'm about to give my dog a quick little bath. He doesn't know it yet. He's laid over there in his bed, but he doesn't know what's coming to him. He does not know. Why am I doing this at 11 o'clock at night? I don't know. I've been having a lot more energy like in the evening times. And biologically, this is when we just been on the topic of parasites and everything. We're taking this juice fast to the next level. And that includes, oh God, it smells so good in here. That includes, I'm in heavy study about parasites, worms, and all of that. And the dogs are just connecting. I'm like, this is the next phase. And everything I've read about a parasite cleanse, juice, worm cleanse, anything like that, tells me the results are amplified uh, in periods of fasting. I'm like, oh, it's just illuminated. You remember how I keep saying you don't have to always know exactly where you're going, because once you commit to your first mission, the others will appear. The others will appear. It's so interesting that my hair does this. Like I have a setting where like it's supposed to focus on me, so I don't know if it's reading my hair like background, like I don't know. Maybe that's my third eye activating, and that's active downloads coming in. So the topic for today is the the enemy within, and why it's not exactly what you think. It's a little bit more resistance, a little bit more of a little bit more than just procrastination, a little bit more of cleaning your room, feeling like you're progressing, and you're like, wait a minute, hold on. This is not actually adding to the goals I actually have in place. And I know parasites and worms, they're nocturnal inside of you. So they actually wake up at around 7 o'clock. So that's why you've been having those munchies, those late night meals. You're fiending for something. You're fiending. I can't leave you alone. Mhm. Is that Jodeci? Somebody correct me. Somebody will. Um, have you just ever felt like there's a part of you that doesn't want to win? We're having real conversations now. Now that we're getting past the service level, now that we're getting past mucoid plaque, now that we're getting past, the basic foundation of this next level that you have decided you are willing to pursue. I feel like God trusts you with more. The universe trusts you with more when you trust yourself with more. Ain't no way I worked basically 10 hours today. Still have energy to clean my room. Still have energy to clean my office. Still have energy to bathe my dog. Still got, oh, how many steps did I get in? My watch is charging. Can I look it up from my phone? Your girl be averaging about 15,000 steps. Let's see. Let's see for sure, for sure. Um, Girl, don't I have the, do I not have the workout things? Oh, there we go. Fitness app. I'm so used to having it on my watch that calculate. Ooh, it's a little light today. It's a little light. Jeez, a little under, what is that? A little under 13,000. That's a light day. That's a light day. Total steps, 6 miles. Can you see that? Can you see that? That's a light day. Am I about to go do a walk? No, I'm about to finish this video. Anywho, girl, I'm just in too deep. I honestly think like all I think I'm getting this amount of energy and I'm on my menstrual cycle. So usually I'm like chill, but something is giving me hope again, that spark of hope when you're such in the mundane for like a long-term goal. And I mean, gosh, it's days your mind, number one, tells you to quit. It's like, okay, we've already did what we need to do. Let's move on. We need to talk about the truth. And I want to say, majority of the day, I am in pretty good mood. But there's also those dark thoughts of like, why am I doing this? Nobody even noticed. This is so inconvenient. And today I was reminded every time I have those thoughts of where like nobody's gonna even care if you start eating again. Nobody are you're not even you don't even have an audience. You don't even have people asking you questions, like all these thoughts, all this rationalization, all of it. Like every time you move forward, some kind of gravitational pull is pulling you back, but it's disguised. It's disguised in busy work. It's disguised in emergency. It's disguised in distractions. It's you can't use food anymore. You can't escape the food to make you feel better. You can't get that stimulation. You can't get that dopamine hit. So now you're looking for other things. And thankfully, they do look productive. Cleaning your room is great. Your environment influences a lot about how you show up. That's wonderful. But let's not use it as a form of escape, which we've grown accustomed to. Escapism, avoidance, and coming from, I like to say I'm a healed, avoidant attachment. Eh, Something shot out of my body like, not yet. I have very much avoidant tendencies. Like, I just don't want to deal with this. I just don't have, and you will tell your body will be like, okay, well, we'll dampen your energy so you actually don't have the strength to deal with this. And I think a lot of it's based in those in parasites. Parasites are taking majority of your energy. All these neurological symptoms and patterns and diagnosis, like I'm so hopeful. I'm like, I think this is it. I think this is like what I've been looking for. Now I have been thinking, I'm like, okay, usually I get a lot more energy from fasting. But I've never detoxed this deep before, like the Himalayan husk, the bentonite clay. I'm learning about binders. Like my group did it perfectly. That was just the foundation. Like this is just the baby step. Now we're getting into the depths of why you do what you do. And sometimes it's frustrating, but most of the time it's clear. I got off track today. I was like, you know what? Why even bother? You get to that point. Why even bother? This is nothing but your identity being challenged. We're talking about that enemy and why identifying what your specific enemy looks like is where your journey actually begins. As soon as I was trying to make myself feel better, make my brain feel better, I was like, you know what? Yeah, 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 we should quit, huh? Yeah, we should go get a hot dog. Yeah, we should. Nobody's gonna know. Nobody's gonna know. Shake them demons off. That's like, when you rattle down south, when they used to rattle the coins to keep the spirits away. Just rattle some juice. Get away from me. Get behind me, Satan. Get behind me. The enemy within is part of you that resists growth and sabotages progress. Mind you, I've been having these thoughts for a while. Let me tell you how divinely graceful I've been handled. Okay, so I'm renting a car. I got a different car today. It's a Fiat. It's a tiny little two-door. We're doing what we need to do. Mind you, it's the shifting is a little different, all that. Girl, Girl, girl. I went to PetSmart to grab something quick from for my dog. Front row, parking. There we go, parked. There were some dogs coming out. I probably got a little distracted. Girl, went into the store. Saying hi to everybody. Me and Raj, we saying hi to everybody, checking people out. Cute dogs everywhere. I'm like, dang, is this happy hour or what? Girl, I come out the store and I was like, wait, now I know I parked there. One of my biggest fears, is anything happening with my means of transportation. My biggest fear happened yesterday. I mean, last year. My engine blew up out of nowhere. Blew up. Blew up. That was my biggest fear because that's my biggest means of making income for myself. And that happened. And oddly, I was like illogically calm. So calm. I was like, huh, interesting, interesting. I pulled over. There were people there to help me. I got a tow. I had insurance, all that stuff. And I was just like, oh, maybe I was in such shock and disbelief that I was like, wow. But once you face your biggest fear, I'm like, oh, this is actually, you just got to readjust how you do things. Don't panic. Fast forward to today, I'm walking out and I'm like, okay, my biggest fear is to have a car, especially a car that's not mine, stolen, damaged, anything like that. I came from history. I was raised in South Central. Like, okay, we've had cars taken out of our driveway. Okay. As we're on our way to school, warming up the car, people just took the car. And I come out and I'm like, now I know I parked right here. And sometimes my brain plays tricks on me. Like, wait, where did I park? Oh, okay, there it is. And then I'm like, okay, now I know I parked here. And it's so funny because there was this random dog. It's one of those dogs like the Chihuahuas that have the tongue and can't bring their tongue back in. And we were like, where is your owner? So we just like moved it to the side and we're like, okay, they'll come back. They'll come back. And I checked out, walked out. Okay, wait, I know I parked in the front row. Girl, I did not put the car in parked. Girl, it rolled back about 60 feet into another car. Mind you, I just made an investment in my next coaching container that I'm like, I'm counting nickels, sweetheart, in the physical. I know we're all abundant. I know we're God's favorite. I know we're God's child. I know we gotta just live in a realm of abundance. But girl, in this physical right now, while those riches are on their way, I was like, oh, surprisingly, I was so calm. I was like, oh shit. I did not opt for the extra insurance. Oh my gosh. Mind you, this similar thing happened to me, not like this, when I was renting from Enterprise and they found a chip like this big on the fender of the car and charged me $800, $900 for that big. I was like, okay. So I got some wounding there. Um, Girl, how God works. So I was like, don't panic. I put Raj in the car, or I put Raj. Where did I put Raj? Oh, I was holding Raj, and I went, and somebody was already outside. I guess the guy's wife, and she was Asian. She could barely speak English, or she can converse, whatever. I'm just painting the picture. Girl, I looked. I'm like, the whole side of this man's car has to be gone. Has to be gone. I walk there, girl. I look and try to stay as calm as possible. And apparently everybody outside was looking for me in the store, whoever the owner of this little Fiat was. Girl, the bumper, the part that ran into this man's car, my corner of my bumper was at his will. Literally, part his tire, part his wheel, his actual it's not a hubcap, his I guess his rim, his wheel. Girl, all he had was a scratch on his wheel. It was about that big. It was just like a scrape. But he had like black alloy wheels. And I was just like, if it had hit even 6 inches to the left, that would have been body, indent, paint. That probably would have been at minimum. It was a 2024 Subaru. Minimum $5,000. Minimum. Girl, girl. The divine grace. I wasn't panicking. I was like, okay, well, let me just. His wife was panicking. I was like, let me just move it up to assess the damage. And she's like, no, 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 no. I was like, whoa. I was like, I gotta move it up just to see. But she wanted him to come out and take pictures of the contact. But I was like, girl, you ain't about to catch me. I'm smart. Girl. This looks actually worse than what it is because there was dust on it. Girl, look at that. Like a quarter size damage. Mind you, it was backed up. This was the original spot. This is where I was parked. That was where I was parked. Where I'm taking that picture, that's where the guy's truck was. So it went all the way from that parking spot right there in the middle, all the way over here. And you're telling me didn't gain enough momentum to make more damage? This was his truck. Almost brand new. No damage. Look at that. Except on the wheel. You can't even see anything. I said, if that's not divine grace. Of course, we exchange information. Thankfully, I still have insurance on my motorcycle. I don't have insurance on my car anymore because I don't have my car anymore. And I'm like, okay, thank God I can still show like proof of insurance, girl. So we exchanged all that. And you could tell they were like a little panicked at first, but because of this fast, my nervous system was so calm it in turn calmed them. Come to find out, that dog that was randomly just in the checkout line, that was his dog. So he had left to try to figure out who this was. And I was like, I'm so sorry, this is a rental. I've never driven in it before. He's like, oh, well, it looked like like he went into dad mode after that. And I was just like, yeah, I was just calm. Like, here's my information, here's my ID. We exchanged like adults, okay? Be responsible, be an adult. I was just willing. I'm like, yeah, whatever you come up with, or however we can resolve this, absolutely. And I started just naming police officers I know. And most people don't want to involve like higher situations. And he was just like, well, he knew that it was too small probably to claim, but you never know how desperate people are. So you don't want to give them ideas of like, oh, I'll make this, I'll pay whatever, I'll pay. Mm-mm. Leave it in their hands. Like, so what you want to do? What you want to do? And we exchanged, and I apologized for the inconvenience. And of course, obviously, that wasn't my intention. But girl, do you know how much worse that could have been? I don't think my nervous system, even fasting, could handle a big whomp like that. Divine grace. I'm like, as soon as I got in the car, I was like, B, cut the bullshit. Okay? How many instances of divine grace do you need to prove that something outside of you is protecting you and has so much grace for you? And it's something like that can just sober you up and be like, oh, forgive me. I forgot the mission. I forgot who I was. I forgot what I'm working with and who I'm working with. Girl, that snapped me into being like, that gave me energy. I'm like, oh no. That could have ended so much worse. So much worse. And people were just like staring at the front. And I guess some people fiend for like confrontation, to be witness to confrontation. And it just ended amicably. I'm like, I'm not going to stress over this. I have to give it to God. It's bigger than me. I have to give it to God. And I think this excitement I'm feeling of getting to the next, like putting it in another gear, there's going to be outside forces to challenge if you say you want what you want. Do you really want that? Do you still want that when you get bad news? Do you still want that when things aren't working in your favor? Do you still want that when your car rolls back into somebody else's car? Or is that your detriment? Is that how easy it is to take you out? Girl, the enemy can be internal and external. This is for my highest good. That's what I always tell. This is for my highest good. I got a little outside of myself where I was like, whoa, whoa. How could you forget? How could you forget to put, how could you be so distracted? How could you be, whoa, 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 whoa. Do you not realize what miracle just happened? It was just a little like, hey, just stay focused, okay? Stay focused. There's bigger things out here. Girl, the enemy within you is part of you that resists growth, avoids risk, and sabotages progress. This is procrastination. This is distraction. This is self-doubt. This is quitting early. This is seeking comfort. This is numbing. This is overthinking. It's it's not necessarily evil. It's just outdated. It's outdated. And you are constantly going to be watching how you react to things. Are you going to have the same chaotic reaction, or are you going to be proactive? I am so excited to get my cleansing kit that I've just done so much research on. It comes, I think, this week. I was hoping it would come by the full moon, which is tomorrow, March 3rd, 3/3. I'm a life path 3. I just got a cool breeze. What the heck? I just got a cool breeze on my legs. Interesting. Interesting. Anywho, 3/3 at 3:33 a.m. And if you saw my video on day 33, that's when I'm released mucoid plaque. That is so weird. I'm nowhere near a window. Interesting. Interesting. Continue. So, why is there an enemy within? Why is there something internally sabotaging us? Your brain has one primary job: to keep your ass alive. Not successful, not fulfilled, not evolved, safe, alive, functioning. And your parasites, your bacteria, need to keep you alive, but they want to keep you governed. They want to keep you continually being gluttony. So you start getting these thoughts of like, oh, your ex, how it ended. Because they know this is what makes you binge. This is what makes you go for the cravings. This is what makes you go to eat. And God forbid if you weren't fulfilled, or if you didn't get love like you wanted as a child, your dopamine receptors are already distorted. And there's certain chemicals that will make you feel love. Nicotine, alcohol. Your body registers this as food, gluttony. Your body is registering this as love. It's a depleted form of you that is essentially just trying to replenish. This stuff gets deep. It's more than just compulsiveness. You're not an addict because you're like, yeah, I want to be an addict. I meant to bring up, I was talking to this guy last year, and I mentioned he was recovering alcoholic. He's been sober for 8 years, does pretty good for himself on the surface. Until you start learning more, I'm like, oh, I'm sure he has parasites. I'm like, there's something governing your mind. But in one of our deep chats that I love to bring, I used to ask, like, so why? Like, why, how did you develop this? I love learning the human condition of why people do what they do. So we were on the topic, and he still goes to AA classes. So yeah, I just want to give people hope of what's possible after, whatever, alcohol. And I'm like, that's wonderful. So like, how did it all get started? You know, I know pretty much how addiction works. You're either running from something or running towards something. And he's like, oh, it was just something to do in Washington. It was just something to do. I'm like, okay, you have broken bones because you were too inebriated. You have scars on your legs because you fell a certain way. And this guy was huge. He was 6'6". So having all that weight, and he was way heavier than he used to be. He lost like 80 pounds. And I'm like, wait, you got so blackout drunk and you only understand things in hindsight. I'm like, okay, you got two baby mamas, one that doesn't talk to you at all, one you don't have a relationship at all. And they're not young, they're older. One, both of them are not in this state. So why are you in this state? Why do certain people like your baby mamas, and you've never been married, but whoa, he wanted to marry me. Why did you do what you did? It was just something to do. You lost your job, one of your jobs in the hospital because of alcohol, is what you told me. And this was just something recreational that you like to do? Mind you, he was biracial, but he looked like European. You would have to really look at him to see he did not look half black. He looked, maybe he could have been white and Middle Eastern, but his dad was black. And he was like, no, it was just something to do. I'm like, okay. Gonna visit that later. You mean to tell me you've gone through AA, you've gone through rehabilitation, and you don't know how your compulsive tendencies started? Interesting. Interesting. Do you know how your compulsive tendency started? Do you know how your binge eating started? Did you know how your relationship do you know what you're actually craving? Do you know can you name the emotion that you're actually craving that you were getting from these substances? That's step one. Why did you do what you did? You mean you didn't know? You don't know what you were missing as a kid? I, most people are functioning at the consciousness of an 8-year-old. Because that's when our consciousness is formed, essentially, between 0 and 7. We know this. So you don't know why you're a high performer. You don't know why you can't celebrate your accomplishments. You don't know why you feel the need to keep grinding. With those people, I'm like, okay, okay. Just haven't gone, just haven't gone deep enough. Whether that you just didn't want to, or you just didn't know how. Interesting. Interesting. You need to name that devil. You need to name that need. You need to have awareness of it. And most of us are unaware. We think we're great. It's everybody else's problem. You want me to tell you? You want Unbreezy to tell you? Or you want the world to tell you? We could save a lot of time. And this guy was a few years older than me. And I'm like, wait, you haven't figured it out? And mind you, some researchers say biologically women mature at about 7 years quicker than men. So I can understand that. But putting two together, I'm like, why did I attract this guy at this time? I mean, calling me his soulmate after 2 weeks, giving me a key to his house, saying I love you in the third week. I'm like, I mean, who wouldn't? Come on, come on, come on. I'm a Leo. I'm gonna think like, I love praise. Come on, come on, come on. But that was a great, like I always say, people are a portal or a lesson or a mirror, or sometimes all three. And I'm like, what? I'm getting better at learning what I'm not focused on this, but learning. Can you learn what people are lacking? They can typically They typically just tell you, show you when you're not busy talking about yourself, when you draw the questions to them, when you keep the focus on them, people will tell on themselves. And I was like, oh God, you I met people like you and they didn't get past this far. But I'm thinking, oh my gosh, he's giving me cash all the time. He's making sure I eat. He's texting me all the time. I'm like, damn, how do you have this much time to text? But I'm like, he's making it away. I was his drug. I was his drug. When you don't know why you do what you do and your supply has been cut off from your typical drug, you will find other ways to get high. Where I effed up is I'm like, he's not really my type. He's kind of a nerd, but I used I'm a nerd too, but he looked the part. Very corny, but it seemed like most people have a good heart. It's just been coated with so much stuff that they've accumulated over years. Thickest glasses I think I've ever seen on a human being. And I'm like, beautiful eyes though. This man had beautiful eyes, like the most honey brown eyes I've ever seen, like honey brown hazel. It was beautiful. And if you think somebody really knows you, ask them what your eye color is. I asked this guy, he was like, mind you, he was very blind, but I'm like, he would stare at me literally all the time. If I would take a nap at his house, um, I would wake up and he would just be staring at me. I'm like, oh. He's like, do you need anything? I'm like, space? And I asked him one day, I was like, what color are my eyes? And he said color. And I was like, hmm. Because if you look really close, I have like yellow, golden, it looks like lightning bolts around my iris when you look really, really close. And I didn't know this until my best friend pointed it out. What was that, in high school? No, she was getting a tattoo. So this was like the second year of college. And we had all came back home. She was in school in Louisiana and I was in school in Idaho. And we came back home and she wanted me to go with her to get a tattoo. And so we were right here. I was holding her hand. She was getting it on her rib cage like a boss. And hi, Celeste. Love you, girl. And we were right here. And she's like, Bree, you know you have like gold, like lightning circular, like it looks like a funnel around your eyes. I was like, girl, I had no idea. No. So when he told me, he was like, oh, it's just this. I'm like, oh, he doesn't. When you're infatuated with somebody, truly infatuated with somebody, you start picking up every little detail. And where you mess up is your intuition is so distorted that you have been getting the signs, but you're like, oh, I won't get attached. I won't, whatever. I'll give him a chance every fucking time. I gotta look myself in the mirror every time. I've said, I'll give him a chance. That's my downfall. I see the spark in people, but they gotta see it for themselves. Girl, he was courting me heavily for months. And when I finally was like, all right, we started hanging out all the time, all the time. When you're my person, you're my person. But that's the karma I'm here to resolve. One of the karmas is losing myself in people, like the loyalty I'm willing to do. And these motherfuckers get comfortable. And I'm like, I'm the upgrade. You may think that, but sweetheart, you guys are functioning on a similar frequency. That's why he had to come in to remind you that this is about you. I done the same thing in my marriage. I'm like, maybe I'll rub off on him. He's got great potential. These motherfuckers are supposed to stay friends. 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 Don't ever let the friend think they got a shot. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. The type of partner you need, you know what you need. You know what you need. It was the test before the actual came. I passed all the tests before him. I let the boundaries, this is when I talk, this is when you can take me out, this is pass with flying colors. But this guy happened to get me at right when I was in a transitioning part of my life. And I just had a high stress. And I was like, I'm just looking for salvation. He had a beautiful home. And I was like, all I could think was, rent free, rent free, rent free. Already talk about me moving in. I was like, rent free, rent free. I've been paying rent since I was 16. Haven't had a break, except when I was married. But I'm like, this would be nice. This would be nice. In a wonderful part of town where we call the North End, and I'm like, yeah. Well, we work pretty good together. We go to the gym together. We can go like we. He put me on his gym pass. Like I'm like, oh well, this would be great. But just as I started looking to take from him, in a sense, he was doing the same thing. I was like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, you almost got lost in it. I stopped going to red light therapy. I stopped doing my walks with him. I mean, he would walk my dog. He bought bowls, anything I needed. He would buy me fresh dog food. He would buy me groceries. He would make sure I always ate. Oh my gosh, I'm never, ever, ever. This man knew how to cook a chicken breast. I'm like, how did you get this so juicy? And we just laughed. Like we would just watch Diners, Drivers, and Dives and just it would have been a very easy type thing. But as I kept on going, I was like, huh, people reveal themselves, babe. People reveal themselves. As I started noticing, like when I would go to his house, and I was there almost every day, and he expected me to be there. Like he wants me to be there by the time he's off work. And then I started seeing, I'm like, huh, video games started coming out of nowhere. I was like, wait, has this always been here? I've never seen this, you know? Then to come to find out, like he what's it called? Like vapes or whatever, the like marijuana? Can I say that? Oh, I don't know. Mary? And I was just like, huh, I thought you didn't do that. I thought that's why we bonded. I haven't drank in over 5 years, haven't had relations in over 5 years, haven't had intercourse in almost 5 years, haven't had drugs, recreational in almost 5 years. I'm acting like I was doing like black tar meth back in the back. No, just light work. You know what I'm talking about. The gateway. I feel like everybody with ADHD, we just gotta calm our mind down. Or I just gotta get some sleep, or I just gotta eat, or something like that. However, you get to it, these little things start coming up, and you start seeing the side of when people get comfortable. I'm like, oh, you're comfortable. How did we get on that tangent? Sweetheart, we're talking about the enemy within, but the enemy can be on the external too. Girl, when we finally went our separate ways, and mind you, once I make a decision, that's it. And I told him, I'm like, if we're gonna do this, there's gonna be no contact after this. No contact. Like it would be that's just a boundary for me. And he was crying and everything. And I was just like, he was talking about I'm just cursed. And I'm like, oh, you believe, like, oh, you believe you're cursed. I could see it. You believe. I was like, oh, don't fight somebody's beliefs. Don't try to change people. Don't let them. I said, okay, well, take me home. And at first, my ego was like, this fucking nerd. Mind you, I'm a nerd too. But this gangly, I effed around and made you think You were on my caliber. And I'm like, girl, what caliber is that? You still trying to figure it out too. I'm talking about as far as attractiveness. I'm like, okay. And that's where you mess up. That's where you mess up. Don't, we ain't doing charity. That's what I had to learn. I want the best because I expect the best from myself first and foremost, and then whoever wants to orbit around me. But that starts with you. I was lacking, so I brought in somebody to an artificial problem solver when I should have been looking at God and waiting for Him. And you know how women, we cannot label things. I wouldn't even let him call me his girlfriend. I'm like, he was talking to his mom about me. He's like, yeah. His mom was like, oh, I guess she was talking to somebody. They were on speakerphone. And he was taking me to work one day. And his mom was like, yeah, bloody blah is taking his girlfriend to work. I'm like, girlfriend. Girl, I thought just because I didn't want to label it, that means it wasn't real. Girl, that's not how your hormones work, sweetheart. That's not how your hormones work. We attach differently, especially when we let people start touching us. Oh, and he would always say, every time I like did something, where I allowed it, he'd be like, water on the stone, water on the stone. I'm like, oh, this is a conquest for you. This is not love. Mind you, messages, audios, videos, good morning, paragraphs, all that stuff. I love you. You're my soulmate. I've been waiting for you. He wanted me to work for his company. He was like, out of all the people I dated, you are just the most sharp. I've never said this before. I've never said this before. Nah. But when you know you better, you do better. So I guess I needed to tell you that for some reason, but we're talking about the enemy with your brain is asking, is this safe? Is this safe? Is fasting for this love safe? If the answer is uncertain, if you don't know if you're going to make it or not, if you don't know if this person is actually for you or not, your brain is going to start actually creating resistance. And resistance can be fear, it could be fatigue, it could be doubt, distractions, cravings, but it's actually threat detection. But we've gotten so disconnected with our mind body that we don't realize the signals that we're sending, just like we lost our capability to identify what's actual hunger and what is just compulsive cravings. The real, I'm still thinking about that, man. My gosh, I think that's why it hit so deep. Like, we ended things. He took me on a whole birthday trip. We went to, like, this was on our second, third week. I guess I haven't fully processed this. I'm like, he booked us a vacation. He got me a dog friendly hotel. Like, I mean, taking the bucks. We went out to this wonderful steak restaurant right on the cliffs. It was amazing. Anything I wanted, I could have got. And then all of a sudden, he's like, um, I think I'm gonna need to budget, or maybe we can, I'll cook because funds are running low. I'm like, oh, where was this? Where was this? I started asking him to help me in certain things. If you want to know if a guy's intentions is there or a partner's intention, ask him for money. I didn't have to ask for money. He always just gave it to me. Or ask him to do stuff repeatedly. Like, the money started drying up. I'm like, oh my gosh. Like, he went through thousands from us talking, I think, from the few months we were talking. And it's just dried up. I'm like, okay, so you don't know how to govern your finances. And I made him, not made him, this is where the mothering comes in. I'm like, how do you not know what you budget for? I was like, if you want me to move, if you want to actually progress in this relationship, I gotta, I gotta vet you because I have no relatives out here to vet you, which I should have been telling an old pastor. I should have just got older guys I used to play volleyball with. There's so many men I know that could have vetted this man, but I thought I had to do it myself. I was like, let me see what budget you have for us. What would that look like? So I could tell this is the first time he's ever done this. I was like, so how much is gonna go groceries first? How much is gonna go, blah blah. I believe that the masculine, when he is ready, he can take on our primal needs, which is shelter, clothing, food. Anything else, that's up to his prerogative and that's up to my discernment. But the pressure got too deep, and I just think, I'm like, if you're heavy, he's heavy. He was a heavy God believer. Okay, had the Bible near the nightstand, played the role very well, played the role really well, and so did I. And I'm like, how? When's the last time you asked for a raise? You've been at this job for 10 years. When's the last time you asked for a raise? Oh, well, I'm like, okay, well, why don't you just tell your employer you'll expand? Oh, you don't need to coach a man, sweetheart. You don't need to coach a man. Tell your employer you're looking to expand your family. Mind you, this man already has over $1,000 going to child support for two of his children that are not doing so well. And I'm like, girl, you will be distracted. There's There are three main drivers behind this enemy that comes up. Number one is a familiarity bias. The brain prefers what it knows, even if it's painful. Predictable pain feels safer than unpredictable growth. The attention I was getting from this guy was like, oh yeah, see, I can make men love me. They'll do anything for me. Thank you, daddy. I mean, thank you, blah, blah, blah. Your daddy wounds are showing. Your approval wounds are showing. The second way is identity preservation. When you grow, your identity has no choice but to shift. Your tendencies are shifting, the way you eat is shifting, who you talk to, how you carry yourself, even in the grocery store, is shifting. The brain is resisting losing old roles, losing social beginning. Wait, hold on. What if I evolve so much that I'm no longer humorous or funny? What if I can no longer relate to people? You start losing familiarity. All these friends are falling off. All these people are thinking I'm weird that I carry green juice everywhere. People are making fun of me. People are ridiculing me. People are what the fuck ever it is. Whatever it is. Your identity of what you built so far equals safety. You think you need to remain, your brain thinks it needs to remain how it is to get out, to get to the next day. The third one, and I think the most underrated one, is energy conservation. The brain, your thinking is metabolically expensive. Change requires new neural pathways, attention, effort. But the brain is like, whoa, 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 whoa. We need to conserve. You're thinking so much about the future, the past. Should I break my fast? Should I keep my fast? It's so much energy. It's like your brain's like, yo, pull the e-brake, which I should have done in that parking lot. Pull just whatever's the easiest, whatever's the most predictable, let's do that. Because this is way too much. This is way too much back and forth. But here's the hopeful turn. The moment you actually can observe that voice, instead of obeying it, your journey, like your journey actually begins once you can identify that voice. Once you can determine what's your voice, what's everything else, what's your voice, what's God's voice, what's everything else. Before awareness, you think the resistance is you. You're getting frustrated with yourself. You're getting impatient with yourself. But after you realize it, you see it's just a pattern. There's a separation. It's just a pattern. It's just a habitual habit. You are not the voice. You are the one who hears it. And if you can hear it, that means it's not you. I would say look up the book Untethered Soul by oh god, I was gonna say Michael Bay, the director. Okay. Untethered Soul talks about that a lot. You know if you know. So we need to work with this instead of fighting it. Fighting it just strengthens it. Fighting it just makes you almost have to have a passive, just neutral reaction towards it. You need to name it. Oh, this is just the fear of change. Oh, this is just anxiety, like residue. Oh, this is not part of the plan. You normalize it. Oh, of course this feels scary. Of course we don't know what next week's gonna look like. Of course drinking all this juice, yeah, it's challenging. Yeah, juicing all day is challenging. Yeah. And then you choose anyway. Small action. Okay, I'm just gonna buy the produce today. Okay, I'm just going to write these feelings down. I know this is not truly me, but obviously I need to process it somehow. I need to talk to a friend. I need to journal. I need to record. I need to start a YouTube video. Every time you act, despite the resistance coming up, you retrain the nervous system. It's the only way through repetition. Because you don't want it through shock. You don't want it through devastation. You don't want it through abrupt changes. You want to be able to be on the forefront of your change. During this journey, during this, whatever you're doing for an extended period of time, the enemy will show up as craving, fatigue, doubt, and temptation. Remember that. It's not you. 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 It's not trying to ruin you. It's trying to protect the version of you that felt safe. But your progress begins the moment you stop fighting yourself and start understanding yourself. What is the core root of what you need that has sparked this addiction, that has sparked this compulsivity? What is it? Sit and just want to understand what is it actually that you need. You are not broken. You are not dumb. You are not slow. You are not, there's nothing wrong with you. You're resisting change because you're wired for safety, but you're also wired for growth. You're also hella wired for adaptability. And growth becomes possible when your awareness increases, your nervous system feels safe. You have those small commitments to build trust. I'm not going to worry about this. I'm going to get my groceries. I know I'm going to be working late, so I'll order my groceries. And the last stop I'll make before I go home is to pick up my groceries. I'll clean so it feels a little light in my room when I wake up. Little things. The enemy within isn't your destruction. It's just your outdated protection. It's time to download the new software. And once you see it clearly, you stop being controlled by it. How crazy is that? My car backed up and only did 3 inches of damage. How crazy is it that everything I needed was provided today, despite the circumstances? How crazy is it that I'm on day 61 of a juice fast, of a 40-day juice fast? How crazy is it that my next step is being illuminated because I've been trusted with this step? How crazy is it that I have so much more just care for myself? I don't blame myself. I don't try to ridicule myself. I don't try to punish. Mind you, this is growing as we're growing. This is a muscle that gets, don't blame yourself. Don't call yourself stupid. Sometimes it's impulsive. Like, oh God, I should have known better. Just how I did with the car. I'm like, what in the world? You've been driving for over 20 years. How could you slip up like that? Yo, it was a new car. It was a complete accident. I think that's why I got such grace. The car only weighs like 30 pounds. Thank you, God. If I had a different car, who knows? If I even had my old car, oh my gosh, I would have got some paint. I would have got some paint, all that. Once you see your patterns clearly, you can stop being controlled about it. You can stop being controlled. You have the awareness now. Now you can choose and you can decide how you want to move forward. You know you have that power, right? Right. Let me remind you. Lord have mercy. I thought it was only been 5 minutes. It's been 55. So I'm going to leave you at that. I'm going to go bathe my dog. It's almost midnight here in Idaho. Just know I love you so much. You got this. Keep swinging with me. We need you in 2026, baby. I love you so much. Have a great night.